The following video clip contains strong language and has therefore been rated 18 plus by the YouTube NECCA. Viewer discretion is advised. YouTube, NECCA, and the makers of this video do not condone the usage of foul language in any situation or circumstance. The explicit content shown within this clip may also be disturbing viewing for mature adults. All people in and involved with this video are innocent until proven guilty.
All right, people, and we are back here on the Fix Your Podcast, your Sunday late night, full-blown constitutional exercising our right to free speech and talking about topics that will scare the average citizen and regular person throughout the entire planet. I am one half of the show, your co-host Cash First. Catch me on the Fix for New York on Instagram. My co-host Z Dot will not be here with us this evening, but who I do have here with us tonight is a guy who's been on the come up amazingly. I've been watching this guy for about 2 or 3 weeks already, and his stuff has just been fire. I'm surprised a volcano has not came and taken him captive yet. The man, the one and only, 5 years to freedom.
Thanks for having me, Cash. Excited to be here.
Yeah, and thank you so much, for joining this evening. It's Sunday night, late night, 11 p.m., heading towards midnight. And, a lot of people, they want to be cozy in their households. And you're the guest this evening who decided to be the cozy guy at home who's going to come on the show. So thank you so much for that, because usually people want to watch rather than participate at late hours of the evening. But yeah, man, like I said, I've been watching your stuff for the past 2 or 3 weeks. What you've been doing has really been touching a lot of guys, like both on the younger and the middle and on the older spectrum, because you're educating and encouraging men. You're letting them know, hey, tomorrow's another day. Don't give up. You could do it. Don't let nobody shame you. Don't let nobody destroy you. You could rise above anything. And that's something that's truly lacked in the Redpill Mgtow community. There's very few guys doing that. We do, unfortunately, have a lot of guys who just run too much off a competition, who have kind of let the rise in notoriety like kind of get the best of them and influence them a bit, in the sense that they're starting to unfortunately develop egos. But yours is taking off. You're like the guy who's been like catapulted. You let a lot of guys get a head start, but you came out flying, and you've managed to remain humble and to be a voice of hope and enthusiasm, lifting guys' spirits. Because I'll be honest, we're on public viewership right now, and the first time I came across your video, I was kind of down that day. And when I saw that video, it really made me start feeling like, and I'm usually the guy like trying to uplift my friends, my co-workers, my associates, and my acquaintances, anybody that I know who is of good heart and is like down in the dumps. So sometimes it's good once in a while to come across somebody to tap you on the shoulder, let you keep your head up. You're not doing horrible right now. Life has its obstacles, but as long as you don't give up, you're going to get further in life than you could have ever thought possible. So I thank you so much for that, and God bless you.
Yeah, absolutely, Cash. You know what? My MGTOW journey led me to study in great detail, and Sandman has a great video about the stages that you go through, okay? And after going through, after being red-pilled and going through red-pill rage and deep, dark depressions, and, it's a dark place, and sometimes you feel like you have to struggle to get through that dark place. And once you get through that red pill rage stage, you start to wonder, where do I go from here and what's next? And what I discovered was an opportunity to what I was trying to do to fill this hole in me, right? I needed to find other men that were experiencing this, and not just me watching the YouTube videos, taking the red pills, and consuming them. That was phase one. Phase two is making that connection, sharing with other men, finding out that this community is full of really strong and powerful men, okay? And listen, every single man has to get burned first, all right?
Unfortunately.
Every single one of us has to get burned. Some of us multiple times in multiple years, and we still can't come out of our blue pill thinking. We still give the opposition, and let's face it, we live in a world now that there's stiff competition, and they are the opposition because they are trying to take our lunch. They are trying to eat our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They want us to go out and work and slave for them day after day after day, and the relationship is no longer what a relationship was designed to produce. Okay? I made a note here that the feminist position is that women's freedom of choice regarding sexuality takes precedence over family, community, state, and the church.
Wow.
Yes.
Time out. Wow. Continue. I had to throw that seasoning right there. That was amazing. Very well articulated.
Yeah, and when I find these definitions of what feminist is and what position they're taking, I have to try to. My whole position when I'm doing my videos is basically I'm just a regular man and I speak plain English, just the English language, raw and rugged and uncut. Okay, and so what has changed? Okay, historically, women's would base relationship on duty. Okay, a duty to their husband, and it was designed with fidelity. Fidelity would prevent a woman from running around and cheating on her husband, okay? And the purpose of that marriage was procreation. And that was supported through the sanctity of that marriage, okay? However, feminism has changed the definition. So it's no longer about duty, fidelity, procreation, and sanctity. Now, that relationship is based on two things: a woman's sincerity and intimacy. And those are two things that a woman can change on a day-to-day basis. And now we no longer have, as men, the ability to rely on a woman based on faith, based on integrity, based on any kind of mechanism that is designed to give us security and peace of mind as men. And I really think what men are struggling with out there is, well, what the hell am I supposed to do with my life if I can't find a woman that I can bond with and trust and then create a family unit and build my life around this core nuclear family? That is what has been eroded. And so, that's the journey. And that's really where I'm coming from now, is to say, listen, men, I have struggled for many years with trying to find a replacement for my desire as a man to love a woman. All right? And it's awfully difficult to replace that. I want to love a woman, okay? I really do. My heart wants to love a woman. It's just natural. That's just natural. Just like you want to love your children. And it's a lot easier to love your children because they're not voluntarily going to stab you in the back and take your wallet and treat you like an ATM machine.
Yep, that's true. Very true.
Okay? But today's woman has changed. And therefore, we as men, now we must change. And we lack leaders in the church. We lack leaders in political arenas to stand up because their mouths are closed and bridled by being politically correct. they have to watch what they say because that's their career. They're in that arena. Okay? Men like you and I and the rest of this MGTOW community, our income and our lives are not dependent on getting checks from Uncle Sam. Okay? So we're going to express our First Amendment right, and we're going to talk about what's important to us because we're responsible for saving ourselves. Nobody is coming to save us.
That's
okay?
true.
We have to save ourselves as men. We are the last ones to be considered in our society.
Yep.
Okay? Women come first. Government comes before us. Children come before us. Immigrants come before us. The male American citizen is the last on the totem pole. However, we are the ones who built this country from the ground up. Our ancestors and our forefathers built this and sacrificed for decades. You know, this country's about 300 years old now. All right, but you know, and that's what's been lost, and that's what I'm trying to stand up for. And you know, sometimes you have to repeat these things over and over again because remember, there's new men that are
coming in daily.
There's new men entering into the manosphere. It's daily. Okay, you know, I want people to start thinking of MGTOW as this is the triage center. Okay, MGTOW is the triage center. This is where men come off the battlefields to get treated for their wounds. Okay?
I like that analogy. Wow, I've never heard nobody use that one before.
Yeah, well, that's where I come from. You know, I come from a place of healing. I want to bring men in, and simps included, and heal these men. All right? We need to grow our community from the inside out. It's self-preservation. You know, we're not victims because men never take a position of weakness. We're not out there playing the victim. We're not asking for anybody to contribute money. We give our own money in the effort to spread this message. Yep. We're not asking. We're not walking down the streets disrupting traffic. We don't do anything. You know, we behave as men. Okay, and that's really my message, and that's you know, I'm just going to continue to do it because honestly, it's good for me, and if other men are benefiting, then I know I'm doing something right.
No, and definitely trust me, you're doing an amazing job. You're having massive growth. Like, I'm pretty sure every minute there's a new guy coming across your video as well. And like I said, you're an encourager, a motivator. You're not here to shame and down talk anybody. And sometimes guys, they need that because it is hard being a man. The weight of the world is on our shoulders. We've always been told, man up, you know, like, take it, and all that. And it's unfortunate that when we were young boys, we were brought up thinking, oh, you know, like, you're going to find a nice girl, and she's going to be loyal to you, she's going to be your angel, blah, blah, blah. And you guys are going to create a beautiful family, all this other stuff. And then, you know, we grew up and came to realize we got duped.
You know what, Cash? We did our jobs as men. All right? I'll speak from experience. I took that path. I became married. I invested $50,000 into the marriage. Okay?
Oh my God, 50,000?
Yeah.
Wow. Hearing that right there, that makes me wanna just freak out. Like, 50K? Holy shit.
So yeah, you know, one thing I like to do, Cash, is I will throw myself under the bus for the sake of saving lives. Okay? Man, I was the biggest blue-pilled simp mangina white knight you can imagine. All right?
Wow.
I spent $30K on an engagement ring for my wife.
Oh my God, time out. Wow.
All right? Now it gets worse. Then I turned around and spent another $8K on her wedding bands. She convinced me to spend $2,000 on my own marriage ring.
Oh my goodness.
You want to talk about burning money, all right? And now the second thing that happened, all right? I'm not going to get into how I proposed to her because it's too much of a high level simp. I'll have to go spank myself behind the woodshed. All right. Now I set a budget for the wedding of $15K because I knew I was going to get some money from her parents and my parents. Okay. Of course, she doubled it. That $15,000 bill turned into a $30,000 bill.
Oh my goodness.
See, that's what's in it for women is cash and prizes.
Yep.
What's in it for men is endless expenses.
You telling me, man?
Now, after all that expense, I still had to pay for the honeymoon, and then I had to take her home, okay? And then I had to sell my house and buy a new one for her that was bigger. Now, Cash, listen, I did all this at the age of 28, and you know what I was doing before I met my wife and got engaged?
What?
Guess what? I drove a Cadillac CTS, and I was a member at a country club when I was 27.
Wow.
Cash, I was playing golf with my buddies 3 days a week, making high value man, 6 figures, and but you know what bit me, Kat? I got bit by the, I don't know if you want to call it the marriage bug, but it was
the love bug.
It was something that took over my mind, and you know what it was? I said I better get married and have kids because that's what men do.
Yeah, that's the indoctrination that is instilled in us since young, and then added to that, we get a side of, that's gonna validate, solidify your manhood, and you're gonna take a lot of pride in that. And we have seen what that has done. That has led to massive suicides amongst men because men think that they're failures. You just shared your story with us. I'll share my story, and I know we were talking a bit, pre-show and all that, but I'll start from the beginning. My very, very first red pill moment was back in elementary school. I had a crush on this girl, and it's funny because I found her on social media a few years ago, and now she's all fat, and she got 3 kids, and she's I think she's into her 2nd marriage now, and all that. She used to be beautiful. Like, she was a girl in school, like back in elementary school, that when you go out to like the playground and all that, like, the guys would like look at her, like all the girls like playing, but they would like look at her, and we always used to be like, wow, like, she's gorgeous and all that. There were other pretty girls, but she was like the standout, and she would flirt with me from time to time and 2 other boys. So one day, to impress her, I gave her $5, and then this other kid came and gave her $20, and she kissed the boy that gave her $20. Yeah, I know, little simp. So, that was my first awakening. I was like, wow, like, did that really just happen and all that? And then, I never really spoke to her after that, and I would see her, like, spend, like, a lot of time with, like, that boy or whatever. So it was pretty much, they were, like, an elementary school couple after that. So right there I learned, like, money can influence women, and we see the basis of it from an early age. And a quick disclaimer before anybody happens to come up in here and get all up in there. It is not all women that we're talking about, but we'd be crazy to say that it is not the vast majority of them. And I'm gonna get to that, how that is solidified as well. We're gonna get to that as I continue with my little my red pill journey and all that, my red pill coming of age awakening. Then when I was in junior high school, I dated this girl, right? And I had gotten like my first little job, whatever. I used to pick up cans and bottles and take them to like the recycling machines. And you throw them in 5 cents, whatever. So we would go collect, like, we would go to like different parks and walk through the neighborhood with bags, pick them up, take it to the machines, get the vouchers, go inside to the cashier, bing, and get paid for it, Then after that, I started working at a pizzeria. So I was dating this girl, and I'm here thinking, oh yeah, like I'm getting money. I'm able to take her to the movies, blah blah blah. And guess what happened? We were in junior high school, and she left me for a guy that was graduating high school.
Oh yeah.
He had already started driving, because if you remember back years ago, they were more lenient. Like you could have like an adult certified license at 17. Like you could take your road test and all that. It was as time progressed that they really started snowflaking things and making it more difficult. Back then, 17, you were good to go. It's just you had to make sure to like avoid like trouble via the motor vehicle laws and all that. So I got duped there and all that. So that led me to start getting, as time went on, higher paying jobs, and I started selling weed too, because I wanted to impress the girls, make sure I had money and all that. And that did bring me like a lot of girls like through high school and all that. But at the same time it brought me girls, I was competing with other guys pretty much. Well, I wasn't competing with them immediately. Women were weighing the options already back then. Oh, this one's got this and that, but that one's got this and that as well. So we were constantly like being like like rotated. So we caught on, and we was like, fuck that. And we started to venture out. And during that time period, the internet just started getting up and running. So there was this website called Skonex. So you could, if you answered questions correctly, you could tap into another high school and basically be like a student there. So, you test your luck through all the different high schools and network and all that. So that helped as well. But again, same thing. Women, for every one message or one opportunity a man gets, women get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And I work with cell phones, I see it today. And disclaimer, again, before anybody comes around and gets in there, I do not look through nobody's cell phone. I present the phone in front of the customers. But, once it lights up, you see like the list of notifications. So, the average, a girl could be decent looking, and if she hasn't cleared her notifications, oh my God, you'll just see like a stockpile. Like all her notifications will just be a massive quantity. Like, forget it. She's a celebrity within, the technological devices that we have available at our disposal now, which I'm very thankful for, because it allows us to be able to expand our networks and get things done. Look at you and I communicating now, and we're, at a pretty distance from each other and all that. And so, like, I see it daily. And then well, actually, to add to that, growing up, the older guys I looked up to that were really making money, like on the block, they would have these pretty girls, and I would see like the honeymoon phase in the beginning, having these women, beautiful long hair, big tits, nice bodies, and all that, big butts as well. Like the guys, like they would pick like what they wanted and all that. There's a few guys that after a while the honeymoon phase will wear off, and then you remember back then technology wasn't as advanced as before. So back then the likelihood of a girl showing up to your block was a lot higher, in contrast to now, that right now they could just write, oh, I'm bored, and they got 1,000 guys. So, the girls will come back then, oh, you're not giving me attention no more, blah blah blah. One of the big time hustlers, he had to move away because this girl smashed his windows to his car, and that was a guy that I really looked up to and all that. And that was unfortunate. And then I watched both my older brothers, and they know, like, we talk about this, a few times, especially my oldest brother. He and I talk about it all the time, and, like, there's no hard feelings or anything, but I saw them suffer a lot with, like, their baby mothers and all that, and I was like, wow, is this really it? We gotta pay for everything. We gotta chase them, engage them, make them laugh, make them feel protected. We basically gotta be their gods, and then in return, literally, like, all we're gonna get is sex.
Just a little taste of peace leave, maybe, if you're lucky. Maybe.
Yeah, and then it's just like, like nowadays, it's been happening pretty much for a very long time, but especially nowadays, the women are not to the caliber of what our mothers were, you know, because our fathers could go to our mothers and, hey, you know, babe, I had a bad day at work, and actually vent to them, and they would be supportive. They give them a massage. They let them know, hey, you know, everything was gonna be alright. They would give that motherly, nurturing love to their man. Nowadays, you vent to a girl, she's already getting turned off by you, and then she's gonna start looking at you with a lower level of respect, claiming that you lost masculine frame, that you're not the strong guy that she thought you was, and now since the attraction is gradually reducing, now you gotta worry about the other guys that she's gonna seek out for the bigger, better deal. So we've lost all that, and then, you know, we're at a time period that we have all these laws against us, but they still want us to approach them and make it happen. In the workforce, a lot of companies have quotas to make and are incentivized to promote the women and all that. And this is public information. You know, it's in the company's policies, a lot of them, and they know that it's true. So my final red pill moment was this girl that I had met her like 8 years before the red pill moment occurred. She was so sweet to me and all that. And during that time, technology wasn't as advanced. So I had lost my cell phone and we lost contact with each other. And I found her again after 8 years, and all I had in my head was the memory of her being this sweet, loving girl and all that. And it's just horrible because as women get older, more opportunities arise, and then they start getting really cold and foul. And again, disclaimer, we're not saying all women, so don't come up in here with your... But we are saying the vast majority, and then this is well-known facts and all that. We're about to get to that right there. So I found her again, and she was sweet in the beginning, the honeymoon phase, but then as time progressed, in Spanish, we have a saying that it goes, empezó a enseñarme las uñas. She started showing me her nails, her nasty side and all that. So little by little, you know, this sweet girl and all that, I would like vent to her, like, hey, you know, I had a rough day at work, blah, blah, blah. And then it went from, oh, baby, it's going to be all right, like, to, oh, you know, you're always bitching and complaining. You need a man up and all that. And then she revealed, like, her soul to me. And her soul was basically,
I am a nasty woman.
And, like, the shock, you know, like, that was so heartbreaking to me. And after that, like, a lot of fights started coming around. Like, she wanted to keep tabs on me at all times, and any little thing would be an argument. And one day she argued with me, and pretty much her bad energy and cursing me out got me into a seriously strange car accident. And that car accident, it was deemed both parties at fault. They couldn't really like find, you know, who was at fault and who was not at fault. So both parties had to come out of pocket, and it cost me, you know, about $6,000. And she was cursing at me like, oh, you stupid bastard, you see what you did, blah blah blah, and all that. And I'll never forget, I was standing there as the tow truck came and the police was there, and she's just, you know, degrading me. And all that ran through my head was like, God, like, why did this happen to me? Why the girl, out of so many girls, because there were a lot of girls during that time period. I don't know what it is when a guy tries to devote himself to a girl. Oh, forget it. The women, they come out like wolves and all that. Like, the minute they find out that you're engaged with one, right away their alertness arises, and they flock to you. So she saw that I was letting a lot of girls know, hey, you know, I'm with her and all that. And I'll never forget, like, it was actually near the end of March, and I just, like, everything was just flashing before my eyes, and it was just like, wow, I really wanted to give this girl everything, that I could. My family was happy that I was with her. Her mother wanted me with her bad because during the years that we didn't have contact with each other, she dated a few guys who were lousy guys, you know. So after that, I forgave her, and I know women are gonna say, "Oh, you forgave her and all that. How you gonna forgive her when you got into the accident?" Let me tell you, ladies, something. Like, seriously, that bad energy is a heavy contributor to a lot of things. You know, you speak things into existence, and you're degrading me, and basically calling upon bad spirits to have some type of malicious reaction occur in my life. So I forgave her for that, and a while after that, we got into an argument again, just her out of nowhere. She came home from work one day and just let me have it, cursing me out and all that. And again, you know, I was selling weed for a very long time because it was another stream of income. So I wanted to get some air. I got I got called upon to conduct a transaction. So being that I wanted to get air and just get away from her, I told the individual, "Hey, I'll meet you up around your area." Long story short, I meet up with him. We met up in an area where unfortunately there were undercovers there working on another case, but they saw us, so they picked us off as well. Ironically enough, the guy that also got caught with me, his girlfriend was giving him a hard time. You know, again, you know, these women, they don't have the caliber of love and nourishing and tranquility that our mothers had. I believe our mothers were that final generation to be, you know, consulting to us. So, you know, as I got arrested, and thank God, I had money to afford a lawyer. Uh, she started telling me that she didn't want to be with me because she didn't know if I was gonna be in jail or not. So this is where the validation comes in. Every time I had a court date, I would show up. We had to be there at 9 in the morning, right? I was facing 3 felonies, unfortunately. You know, so I would be at court, and I'll be there so early, and these people wouldn't see me at like 12, 1, or 2 o'clock because the line would be so long. Guess of what? All the cases that they would take care of ahead of me.
That's right.
Child support, domestic violence, domestic dispute, child support, domestic violence, I just used to be like, shit, like, can there be like a separate court just for people that got arrested for marijuana? I'll be there early, and I'm, falling asleep again, and it's just like, holy shit. And then, what a lot of us did, I looked up on the internet, why am I being treated like this by the woman that I wanted to dedicate myself to? And I came across Redpill content creators. I came across Sandman. I came across another guy who doesn't make videos anymore. I forgot his name. But he showed his face early on. So you already know the feminazis hounded him.
Yeah.
And yeah, from there, I found Coach Greg Adams eventually, and finding these guys kept my spirits up because I was duking it out in court for a few months. And I'll be honest, I was on the verge of suicide, but thank God I had a good lawyer. And my lawyer, he kept like consulting me. He took me out for lunch a few times, and he even told me, look, man, like, I see that you're not a bad person, or that I don't want you to do anything to yourself. You have a great future ahead of you, and I promise you I'm going to get you through this. And thank God he was such a great lawyer. He had good relations with the prosecutor and all that, so he was able to get me a very good deal, even though, it cost me money. But he got me a good deal. It was a year's worth of a pre-trial intervention program, pretty much probation, but not stamp probation, Because when it's stand probation, you have a conviction. I have no conviction, just an arrest and all that. So, yeah, that was my story. And then along with that, I got to see the statistics play out in real time, like the courts, just guy after guy after guy after guy after guy after guy destroyed. It was like ass whooping next, ass whooping next. I was just like, holy shit, like.
So listen, man. I mean, everything you've said here has been swirling in my mind, and listen, what it boils down to, Cash, is that our society puts so much pressure on us when we're younger. Men and little boys and girls are grown up and shown Disney movie after Disney movie, and every girl thinks that she's a princess, and these boys think that they're supposed to become the prince.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a lot of pressure. Now, what happens is technology is introduced. And then when they're looking at their role models, who are their mother and father, who end up splitting and divorcing at a 60% rate, there is a huge amount of cognitive dissonance.
And that's the first marriage. As you go second and third, we're into the 90s.
It only goes downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what you talked about before was basically gave me this thought of imagine you're driving a go-kart at the go-kart track in the park. Now they put something on that go-kart called a governor, which maximizes the speed of that go-kart to a certain speed. It cannot go any further, all right? But when you take that governor off, now that go-kart has unlimited speed, and it's too fast for the track, and it's going to crash. And that's really what's happening to the youth today. And when I mean the youth, I mean it starts as early as 6th, 7th grade with these girls that are basically going from a teenage adolescent girl that's a virgin, losing her virginity, and then repeating that cycle over and over and over again. Now, of course, these boys are doing it too. And the age of innocence used to be something that lasted years, okay? There used to be summers and seasons for these kids growing up to learn about relationships. It wasn't automatically sex, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Feminism has basically completely taken away the stigma of sex so that girls are no longer considered whores. The consequence of being a whore is no longer there. There is absolutely no repercussion or consequence if a girl wants to sleep around. Okay? That's what's changed in our society. And now here's the problem, okay? It's the girl wants to have fun. Girls just want to have fun, okay? Just like boys want to sow their wild oats.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But now with this whole idea of equality and having girls no different than boys, now girls want to go out and they want to sow their wild oats.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're able to go and they're able to get careers and they're able to make their own money to the point where they don't need men. All right, and you made a good point about the girls. They want men with money and power. Okay, they want the bad boy that looks good, that's attractive, that's exciting. Okay, and that boy, when that girl is 18, that boy is probably 24. When that girl finally gets
even
to 24,
older
or older, okay? And that's the difference. 50 years ago, little girls were basically raised and trained in a traditional way to meet a man, get married young, and then they grow together. They build from the ground up together. It takes longer for a man for his income to increase.
Yep.
I'm 43. I started off high because I was always a hustler. But over the years, it keeps ticking up. It keeps ticking up.
And pardon me to interrupt you.
Yes.
Even me, like growing up, a lot of jobs that I worked, they always emphasized on hiring females, attractive females, because they'll bring in business from supermarkets to Foot Locker, all these places.
That's right. So when women enter the workforce, when they have their peak years from 18 to 28, they are attractive. They have a lot of energy. They create a lot of energy, all right? However, the wall is undefeated, and the wall is fast approaching.
Yep.
All right? And just as these women hit the wall, that's when men literally start taking off.
Mm-hmm.
Men mature emotionally and psychologically a little bit later on as they grow up. Okay? So what's important is this. Women out there, if you're listening, here's what men need you to know. Okay? By the time you get to age 30 and you have a high body count and you have more degrees than a thermometer, you got a master's degree, you got a bachelor's degree, okay? You make money. By that time, the powerful, strong men that are marriageable, that are worthy to become a husband to you, are no longer interested in you because you have devalued yourself.
That's the point in time when we start seeing women come around like,
What happened? Where did all the men go?
Well, that's unfortunately what it is. And
shout out Coach Greg Adams.
Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. But this is the predicament, and this is the predicament for our society. Our society is not going to continue to succeed if this problem isn't fixed. Okay? Men and women were created to be together and to have children and to raise those children with morals, ethics, values, and standards.
Yeah, because
healthy parents create and raise healthy children.
And it creates a very respectful, productive society. Yeah.
And you have to have, there's two types of reinforcement to encourage good and proper behavior. There is negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement. Okay? Positive reinforcement is when you offer a reward for good behavior. Negative reinforcement is when you know there will be a punishment if good behavior is not performed. Okay? And we, in this society today, we've removed the negative reinforcement. Everybody gets away with everything. Girls get away with even more than everything. Okay? It is a huge double standard that we're dealing with today. And listen, men are going their own way. Okay? And here's why.
And guarding our own wallets.
That's right. Men are guarding their own wallets. Okay? And we're here as men because I'm going to get back to that. But this is the point I wanted to share with the audience tonight. Okay? When you ask a man why he wants to get married, it's really simple. He wants to love his wife. He wants to take care of his wife. He wants to provide for his wife. He wants to protect her. Okay? He wants to give her children, and he gives the seed, and then he nurtures and waters that seed, and it's growing inside her belly, and then when it comes out, the man is there to provide sustenance for that baby to grow. And again, protect and provide on a daily basis. Now, when you ask a woman why does she want to get married, her answer is going to have everything to do with what she gets out of it.
Yep, the beneficiary to the max.
She will tell you what's in it for her. Okay? Now, here's what I want to tell you men out there. All right? This is what you want to hear from a woman. You want to hear a woman tell you, I'm going to use your name, Cash. Cash, I want to be a good wife. Cash, I want to respect you for your power. Cash, I want to submit to your authority because I trust you and I trust your judgment. Cash, I want to obey your commands. Okay? That's what I want to do as a wife. Cash, I'm grateful for the hard work that you do daily. All right? Cash, I'm honored you picked me. I'm the lucky one. This is what women should be saying to their men. Okay? Cash, I work to ensure that you are pleased and satisfied. All right? Cash, I take nothing for granted. Everything that you do, I cherish. And I honor and I value it. Okay? That's what we are missing as men today. We don't That is what we want, my man. Okay, that's what men want.
And we've come to the time period that we finally realize that even
Yeah.
if a lot of women say that, it could be a bunch of
Fake news.
so.
Now, Cash, let me tell you real quick what men don't want. Okay, Cash.
One of the viewers, shout out to the viewer who just said this. Those are big demands in these modern times. Oh man, hold on. To the man who said that, you definitely earned it right now. Hold on.
Yeah. So listen, here's what men don't want. This goes out to the ladies too. Ladies, we don't want fake hair. We don't want fake eyelashes. Okay? We don't want you going around looking like Snuffleupagus that just came off the set of the Muppets Take Manhattan. Okay? We don't want to see that. We don't want to see tattoos, okay? We don't want to see them all over your body, girls, all right? That's unattractive. Listen, we don't want to see you put bumper stickers on a Lamborghini. The Lamborghini is just fine the way it looks. You don't need to go mark it up. Okay, ladies? We don't want to see fupas and fat upper pussy areas, and we don't want to see your busted Pillsbury biscuit can and the fat hanging on underneath your arms, girls. We want you to be fit.
am a nasty woman.
Girls, all that we ask is that you're fit, feminine, and friendly. Okay, shout out to Kevin Samuels for defining some very basic things that men want from a woman. All right, we want you to be cooperative, okay, and agreeable. We're not asking for the world, right? We just want you to be pretty, fit, attractive, and we want you to be nice to us, okay? And then above all, we want you to be faithful and loyal. We want you to fight for us and protect us just the same. That's it. We want something for something. Quid pro quo.
Yeah,
right?
and forget it. Nowadays, it's a needle in a haystack.
Well, exactly. Unfortunately, that ship has sailed. We passed the exit on the turnpike miles back, buddy. There's no way we can turn around and get back there and find these women because guess what? They don't exist. Someone asked me the other day, I was in a fatherhood class with a good friend of mine, and he heard me talking about MGTOW, and he started talking about how he's been married to his wife for 55 years. And I said, yeah, you know what, Mike? You're right. The only good women that are left are either over 70 or under 7.
Oh my God. Horrible.
You either got to rob the grave to get a good woman, or you got to rob the cradle, buddy. You only got 2 options as a man today. Do you want to be a grave robber, and go dig one up, or do you want to rob the cradle?
Yeah, God forbid, And again, before anybody comes around getting in there, 2 quick things. We do not advocate for digging up dead bodies or pedophilia. We do not. You got to put all these disclaimers out because you'll have a Karen come around. Oh my God, look what they said. Oh my God, get him.
That's true.
And
well, listen, 5 years of freedom doesn't mince words, okay? 5 years of freedom is about honesty is the best policy. I say what I mean what I say, and I can stand behind it. Now, I want to talk about real quick, too. What is the future? Where do we go from here? How do we live as men in this modern era? All right? Because listen, none of us are interested in a woman with a high body count that's got a vagina that looks like a half-eaten Arby's roast beef sandwich with double meat, triple cheese that somebody fished out of the bottom of a dumpster and repackaged it, and that they want to sell it to us for full price.
yeah,
No, I'm sorry.
and pardon me to interrupt you. Respectfully speaking, their biology, their whole anatomy and all that, as they continue to take poundings,
Yes.
by different men, regardless of size, whatever. And any girl that's been with me, they know what time it is and all that. Because
right.
what occurs with me, with women, is they'll want to be with me, but they'll want to have me there as the guy they could come home to if they don't find nothing in the street. And then they come around wondering,
What happened? Where did all the men go?
Yeah. So listen, Cash, what we have to do as men, number one, is we have to break the WAP addiction. All right? I think one of my first posts was entitled Break the WAP Addiction. We are addicted to the WAP like we get addicted to alcohol, like we get addicted to opioids, okay? Men get addicted because there is nothing else like that on planet Earth. However, I'm here to tell you right now, all right, that alcohol, the benefits don't measure up to the consequences, okay? That juice is no longer worth the squeeze, all right? We are not looking to pick up STDs from these ran-through thoughts, all right? We are not looking to become human ATM machines and fund their habit to go to the nail salon, okay, and to stack up shoes, all right? And they go buy clothes, Cash, and they go out and buy a brand new shirt, all right? Then they pack on 25 pounds from eating bonbons and sitting around on the couch all day while we're out to work. And a year later, you go back in the closet, and those clothes still have the tag on it, okay? There's some of we are not here to support these bad habits that these women have today, okay?
They have, the majority have horrible money management.
That's right. And that's exactly why these women are coming after simps, all right? We have to we have to refuse to continue this high-level simpery. That's my message, is to men like myself who have sinned and have been simps and have spent years trapped in simpery.
Yeah, we've all been simps because, again, the indoctrination and simps, those who are adult simps, they're very dangerous because these guys as well could be caught up all up in there. And they don't realize, like, yo, she's calculating to take you as a sucker. She wants you to be the dumbass to come around and... fund all of her horrible money management habits and be the guy that she could fall back on if she wasn't able to find nothing as she was out on the prowl while you were out trying to bring home the bacon.
Josh, that's exactly right. These women have really figured out the game. And that's one thing we have to be very vigilant about as men and as MGTOW men, and to share this message and to let men know these women know that they have what we want, and they can trade that. They were born with it. They didn't work hard or do anything special. They were literally born with everything that they need to extract resources from men. And just because they got a little bit of fat in the front and a little bit of junk in the trunk and a little bit of peace sleeve in the middle, okay, they use that to take everything that takes us weeks, months, and years and hard work to get. And they don't respect it, okay?
Time out. Continue.
That's right, my man. You know, Cash, it takes a lot of hard work to pay all your bills and save a little extra money, all right? For a man to stack up his cash, okay? And the first thing I want to tell men, stop spending money on hoes, ran-throughs, and thoughts. Number one, the first thing that happened to me when I got blue pilled, when I got red pilled finally a year ago. And Cash, you know, I'm so happy, man. I just want to thank you because guess what, Cash? It's March 15th of 2021, buddy. And March 15th of 2020 was the last time that I had sex with a woman. I achieved 1 year of being woman free as of this moment, 12:03 a.m., buddy. I'm here to celebrate. This is year one out of my quest to be woman and thought and simp free for 5 years, to purge and cleanse myself of that wicked witch of the Northwest, East, and South that has polluted and contaminated our manly souls and our rights as to have sovereignty as men.
I am a nasty woman.
And for the people that just jumped on as well, we got some more viewership. Before anybody comes and gets in there, we're not talking about all women, but the vast majority. Again, you know, for those that just came on, when you catch the rerun, I was in court, just me alone, watching double-digit numbers of men. I would be waiting for hours to have my name called, to have my case attended to. Guys just being taken to the cleaners, you know, false allegations, domestic disputes that a lot of women instigate and all that. We seen how the majority of modern women like to poke the bear and all that. And then you know what happens? The good women, we know that they exist. They're out there, but too few and far in between. And do they hold bad women accountable? Is there a coalition of good women telling bad women to stop? Is there a coalition of good women advocating for the abolishment of the laws that are rigged against men? Is there a coalition of women who tell the bad women, hey, wait a minute, before you go and take advantage of that guy, why don't you go out and get it for yourself? The good women cover for the bad ones.
Absolutely. Amen. Amen to that, brother. Speak the truth. Drop it. Drop it like it's hot.
Because we want to acknowledge that there's good women there, again, before anybody comes up in here and gets all up in there. Little. But the majority is overwhelmingly bad. And just hang out at a court one day. When they open up the courts, hang out at the courts, and you're going to see men being taken to the slaughterhouse. You would think you're at a ranch with all the cows getting ready. You know, God bless poor cows, getting ready to be turned into steak and ground beef and all that. You know?
Yeah, and Cash, I want to talk to men directly for a minute, and I want men to be extremely aware that their value,
Go ahead,
their
big brother.
their sovereignty as men and value does not lie and exist within a woman. It lies and exists within each and every individual's man in himself. Okay, and a man's absolute priority in life is to discover his own powers, is to discover and develop his own unique talents. And there's absolutely no way to focus enough on oneself when you're distracted constantly with peace leave, okay? With going after a little bit of taste of that funky stench, all right? It's not worth it. You can't stay on your grind and your game long enough to develop skill sets that are going to lead you to be successful as a man, okay? And guess what, man? I'm here to tell you, again, a harsh red pill. It is difficult to succeed in the world today. What it takes to succeed at a high level is increasingly difficult. With the technology has increased competition.
Yes, it has.
Okay? Now, you don't only have to be good in sales with the spoken word. You have to be good with the technology. You have to be good with data management and follow-up. Okay? You have to know the legal aspects of the business. You have to know accounting. You got to wear 18 hats. I'm sorry, Cash, but there's nothing left over in my schedule for whining and dining some female thought that is going to give me a little tiny sliver of peace leave, and then on a slow Tuesday, she's going to be banging Chad and Tyrone. No.
Yeah, exactly, right?
All right, sorry, but you know what? What I have to bring to the table is really a great deal. Okay?
No, of course, it's truly amazing. I want to give you your props. You know, you brought it up earlier. You know, you're well into six figures, and God bless for that. You know, I'm aspiring to get there as well. You know, they've been calling me Cash since back in the 90s because I always, I was that guy who always, I wanted money. Part of it was because of the girls, but part of it was me watching, even though he and I bumped heads a lot, but me watching my father, have to take care of the bills, me watching my father be miserable, me watching my father work extra hours in order to give himself excursions and all that. And I always said, I never wanted to have to come to that, so I tried as much as I could to get to the point that I've gotten to today. And had I known a few years ago what I know now, I'd be a lot more ahead. Thank God I found out sooner rather than later. But I just want to give you your props because, there'll be women who come up in here, oh, look at these two guys, they're bums and all that. Not realizing the type of money that we make, we just are refusing to be taken for suckers. Any girl that want to come around plotting something, guess what? We're well aware now. So you better bring more to the table than just seduction, teasing, and peace leave. Because even though the peace leave could be good, and when we get a good, session of peace leave, we're all like, but no, we're not gonna be controlled by that anymore. We're not gonna be held hostage by that anymore. We've awoken and we're trying to awaken our fellow men. And again, I want to give you your props because the money that you make, and with the money that you make, you remain humble. Because again, I work in sales. I gotta close deals with guys that make more money than me because with them making money, I could sell to them and make my money. A lot of guys making half of what you make are complete assholes, and I have to deal with them and all that. So I just want to give you your props for remaining humble and you know, just being you, because you know it shows in your eyes like that you're a good guy and all that. And I have to give you your props for that.
I appreciate that, Cash. And listen, you know, everything that men earn in this life is a gift. Okay, everything that you get is a gift, and our jobs as men is to steward those gifts and make them grow. Okay, if we make $10 and we spend $1 to eat and invest $9 in 6 months, that 9 is going to become 18. Mm-hmm. All right, and now we can repeat the process. Now we can live on the interest that 9 made. So now every time we make 10, we invest the entire 10. Okay. Now, if these men today are running around making $10, spending $1 to eat, and then spending 9 on chasing some thought and trying to impress her, and they're going to get 30, 40 minutes of sex, maybe, if they have any stamina whatsoever in bed, all right? And we all know that too many of you simps out there are too pump chumps, okay? all that hard work that you men put into it, you don't even get 30 to 45 minutes of bedtime fun, okay? You don't even get that much.
And just to distinctively differentiate it real quick, to have your back and all that, that's a message to the cocky simps out there who want to come at guys like us and guys in the Redpill Mgtow community, trying to warn our fellow brothers about the landmine field, you know?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that real quick, Cash. Let's talk about PUAs, and let's talk about men who might make comments to a man like me and say, oh, well, you're just old and washed up. You're 43. You don't have any more game. And in fact, you might even be gay. All right? Well, let me answer that real quick. All right? There's a difference between short money and long money, first of all. Cash, I've been saving money since I was 16 years old.
God bless.
Since I was riding a moped to the grocery store bagging groceries.
God bless.
Now, my whole life, I've worked. I don't understand what it means not to work. Okay.
Yeah, me either.
Cash, I've turned down more offers for free and easy peace leave in the past month than most of these PUAs get in 6 months of trying to spit game. All right.
God bless.
And I'll tell you what is you know why? Because I value myself now. I treat my body as a temple. Okay? And after purifying myself of alcohol and women, okay, because I was addicted to both, after going through this purification process, how I've grown intellectually, that's where my value is. That's where I'm able to think clearly now. That's where I know that this is not about me. It's not about me. That's where I stay humble, okay? Everything that I have is only given to me as a test to see what I can do with it. All right, and that's where men need to start thinking about. Okay, If you respect money, men, money is going to respect you back.
Time out. Because I've had so many guys tell me it's not about the money. Get the fuck out of here with that. Let me tell you guys something. The light being on costs money. The cell phone that you use costs money. The clothes that you wear costs money. The food that you ingest to nourish yourself and keep yourself running costs money. The weights that you buy, the gym membership that you have costs money. Don't ever tell me money ain't important. Especially when you want to be one of the guys out here caught up all up in your... Pardon me, Joe Biden was hating on right there. But yeah, and then you guys are out here chasing these manipulative women that the moment you're in trouble, guess where these women are?
That's right. Well, and
the same way I got left high and dry, you know?
My answer to these men who think that I've lost it, they think that I'm out of touch, They think that I'm just some washed up old man who no longer can score and have game. They got short money, Cash. And when the shit hits the fan, and our country, unfortunately, is in a very precarious position. All right? What I want, these are perilous times, okay?
Hell yeah. Who would have thought?
Now, MGTOW men, listen up. We need to prepare and strengthen ourselves for the worst case scenario. The party in the United States of America has been raging for the past 50 years nonstop, okay? It has been one big sorority and fraternity party and one big, what was that MTV show? It was Spring Break, Girls Going Wild, okay?
Yeah, right.
Girls, you've been going wild for 50 years, okay? But guess what? The party never lasts forever, all right? The music is starting to slow down. The party's coming to an end, and when it does, we're going to see who's left standing, all right? And that's my message to you PUAs, okay, and you guys out there that are running around bragging about banging 40, 50, 60 hoes a year, okay? Well, guess what? As you're doing that, and my investments are compounding with compound interest, at 43, I'm looking at a retirement plan at 53.
God
all right?
bless.
Now, if you focus and give up peace leave for a minimum of 5 years, and you work your balls off for 5 years and live low, then you will be able to live high for the rest of your life, man. I'm telling you right now, I will trade 5 years for 35 years any day of the week. Let those Chads and Tyrones run around and bang all these hoes for 5 years. I can step out of the game, okay? And guess what? In 10 years from now, when Chad and Tyrone are broke and they're living back, they might not even be able to move back in with mommy and daddy. I don't even know where they're going to end up, okay? But guess what? 5 years of freedom, that's what it takes, gentlemen. It takes 5 years of being 100% focused on yourself. And the only way to do that is to disconnect from chasing peace leave. It is not worth it, gentlemen. You can always come back to it. Okay, Cash? My final answer to these PUAs and anybody who wants to call me queer for abstaining from short-term sexual gratification. All right? I'm 43. By the time I'm 53, first of all, I don't want to talk about how much money I have, but by the time I'm 53, if I want to work, it'll be for my pure enjoyment only. All right? I'll also be in a position to provide for my children. I'm going to put them through private school and a college education. And none of this would be possible if I was out there giving money away to girls who, they met me at the end of the marathon, Cash. I've been running the damn marathon for 26.2 miles, okay? I've got 8 marathons under my belt, and I'm training for my 9th, all right? And I'll be damned if I run 26.2 miles and some thought is standing there at the finish line ready to collect the cash and prizes that I just earned.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen on my watch, gentlemen. And ladies, if you're listening out there, I encourage you strongly to look within yourselves. And remember, chastity is difficult, and difficult things produce very good results. Nothing in this life comes easy. If you want something that has value, you have to work for it. You have to learn how to say no. No, ma'am. No, thank you. And if you're a young woman and you've got Chads and Tyrones coming up and they're flashy and they look exciting, I got news for you, ladies. They want to pump and dump. They are not offering you anything, any continuity. They're not offering you anything of value. Those men out there, they're looking for a notch in their belt. They want to brag to their friends about, hey man, I just smashed that honey. And it's a sorry state of affairs. And that's what I love about MGTOW, Cash, is that MGTOW men, we are resourceful. We are respectful. We are powerful, right? We're building this group from the inside out. And guess what? When a group has no leader, it's not about one man on a mission, right? This is a movement for men to regain their sovereignty as men.
Yep.
And that's it. We have to take our daily dose of red pills. We got to encourage each other, okay? and we have to be strong.
Oh,
right?
there's a question here for you, and I actually have a question as well. But before we get to the questions, respectfully, and for those watching, I just want to say a lot of the reason that we've gotten to this particular moment in time is due to the bad women. Again, before anybody comes up in this bitch, all up in there, I've disclaimed time and time again this evening. There are good women. They do exist. It's just they're too few and far in between. And when it comes to holding bad women accountable, the majority of them. So, Coach Greg Adams, along with a few others, myself included, but he made the video about it. Women by default outnumber men. Men have been dying since the dawn of time. Growing up in New York or big cities, especially back in the 90s and all that, a lot of wars amongst neighborhoods were because women were having sex with the top dog over here and the top dog over there, and then that would instigate an all-out warfare. No, she's mine, because back then the simpery was heavy. Instead of guys coming to the senses like, yo, wait a minute, you fucked around, fuck you. Women do outnumber men. Thank God. I say that's a good thing, because if we look through our history, the most family productive times were the times of polygyny, one man, many wives, because the wives would work together. They would protect each other when the man wasn't around. They would protect the children. One wife will be taking care of this, another wife will be taking care of that, while the men inside like the villages, towns, whatever, because that was before cities, they would go together to bring home the bacon and all that. In this current moment in time, a lot of women have been voting for tyrants who infringe on our constitutional rights. And a lot of women, the bad ones who overwhelmingly outnumber the good ones, have been voting anti-Second Amendment. That's why you got a lot of states right now who, New York City, as an example, heavily infringed. You got groups like Moms Demand Action and other groups and all that just, they're always running on fear. They instill fear in other women. It spreads like wildfire. You try to teach women about self-defense, and the bad ones just come like and continue to instill fear in the good women. And then the few patriotic women, they are so overwhelmingly outnumbered that they're even timid to, like, right now we kind of see like a group like coming together, but even they hold back, and they're relying on men to clear the path for them, which is what I try to do as well. For anybody who's seen, like, I try to bring plenty of good women, onto my platform and all that, and have them explain like things like the Second Amendment, self-defense, having manners, being polite and all that, not treating men like shit, and picking good men over bad ones. Stop thrill seeking, Thrill seeking. Look how many times roller coasters have gone off the rails. I don't get on roller coasters for shit. I ain't got nothing to prove, So yeah, unfortunately, a huge contribution to the current amount of tyranny we are facing is due to the vast majority of bad women that are out here advocating for this tyranny. 8 to 9 times out of 10, you go outside not wearing a mask is a fucking woman that, hey, put your mask on and shit. Again, spreading the fucking fear mongering. And it's bullshit. So, like, I wanted to put the stamp on that and all that, because again, there are good women. There are good women. There are good women. But too few and far in between. They don't mobilize, and the good ones, a lot of them still expect men to clear the path for them. And it's just like, this battle right here is a battle that men cannot frontline at all. The laws are against us. Any little thing, the cops who are, I'm sorry, they're an unconstitutional entity. There might be few good individual cops, but we already know when there's a domestic violence dispute, even if the woman instigated it, the cops are showing up looking for a reason to attack the male, to arrest the male, to do whatever they want with the male. These cops are basically white knights simps, And it's horrible. An unconstitutional entity with horrible origins that still enforces tyranny today. And guess what, Republicans? Guess who the fuck is gonna come and take it? Your little thin blue line stormtroopers. You guys gotta wake up out of that indoctrination too. There's another piece of Hallmark Disney bullshit that y'all been indoctrinated to believe. Oh, police are such wonderful people. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell y'all something about those cops right there. You think that they're so wonderful? Well, and again, that is a bunch of
Fake news.
they infringe on our constitutional rights. And the bad women who outnumber the good women overwhelmingly utilize them in order to enforce their own type of tyranny. You know?
That's right.
And it's horrible.
That's it. We're living in dangerous times, and things are happening at a rapid rate, and we're living through an age that men on this earth have never been confronted with. This is new. This is new.
Exactly,
Right.
very new. All right, so we have a question here for you in particular. Who are your favorite influences in the Red Pill Mgtow movement?
Sure, absolutely. So, of course, my original red pill man that I found was I found Sandman. Okay, and I thought he was a little weird, but as time went on, I started to speak the language. All right, and I started to find out same thing. What led Sandman to become a Mgtow, and why does he keep doing it? All right, and of course, Coach Greg Adams. Coach Greg Adams, I think right now is the most powerful, well-spoken, intelligent Mgtow leader out there. That's he would have to be my number one pick. I like Replicant Fish. I think I think he's very wise, and Think Before You Sleep is another great one. I like Black Ram 313, and if anybody listening wants to know, I'm a standard 43-year-old white man. Okay, and some of my favorite, like for instance, I love Black Ram 313. I don't agree with catch and release and pump and dump, and that's the thing. I don't agree with everything that each one of these men says. All right, and that's perfectly okay. We don't have to be 100% in sync.
Hey, there's people that like ice cream. I hate ice cream, but we can
yes,
still find common ground.
I think Anthony Spade is one of the most intelligent men out there. All right, Lion of Mgtow, he's another guy that's rock solid, and the list goes on. Okay, and I really only focus on the positive parts of these. Not every MGTOW man has.
Oh, we got another question for you too. So
all right,
that's
cool, let's hear it.
that's three more. And pardon me, I interrupted you. It's just
Not
like
perfect.
it
Yeah,
popped
let's
up and all that. All right. This one is kind of personal. What happened to your ex-wife? You got 2 kids.
Okay, so 2 things happened. All right, my ex-wife is doing fine. She's 2 years older than me. I have 3 kids, 13, 10, and 8. I have a girl, and a boy. All right?
And time out real quick. I just want to chime in on that. Older women can date younger men. It's about how you keep yourself together, your mannerisms, and your hygiene, and your levels of respect. Continue.
That's right. So I married my ex-wife in 2006.
Wow.
My first baby was born in 2007, and then again in 2010, and then again in 2012. So my ex-wife is one of the best mothers on the planet. I love my mother. My mother did a good job. My ex-wife is far superior than my own mother. Okay, and for that, I gladly give her $3,000 per month.
Oh my God, 3,000. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself an L.
Shit.
Now, on top of that, since we're speaking about my ex-wife, I gave her a $350,000 house and I was entitled to take about 50 grand, but I didn't. All right. Before I left, Cash. Before I left her, when she filed my wife threw me out of the house, and even after I left, Cash, I paid off $7,000 of her credit cards, and I paid off $18,000 on her car note. You know why? Because I didn't want her to have to pay bills, because she was she's I gave her everything. I gave her everything, Cash. All told, after my child support's paid, it will be over $1 million.
Oh wow, they're saying God bless you. You're a great guy, and things like
A lot
that.
of people say that, but you know what? Here's my answer to that. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Seek God first, and everything else will be given to you.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's where everything comes from within me. All right.
And I wanna
take
put
orders from the man.
Yeah. Pardon me. I just want to add to that. This is me speaking individually for myself.
Yes, sir.
I was raised, with like Catholic Christian morals. Puerto Ricans, Caribbeans. That's pretty much our stuff. Along with like a few things that we do, like Santeria and all that. But I was never like on the Santeria side or anything. It was like Catholic Christian. You believe in God and all that. I separated myself from the church when I saw that there was a lot of lack of action and all that. Especially, I've always been big into changing the laws. I'm a libertarian. I'm anti-authoritarian. I'm very pro-constitution. If you watch the movie The Patriot, even the father of the church, the pastor, he picked up his rifle and went out to battle and even lost his life. Because without defense, there's no way that you're going to be able to participate and practice your beliefs. The Second Amendment protects the First Amendment and all the other amendments as well. I'm not a religious person, but I do pray. I do believe in an almighty higher power, which we do call our Father God and all that. And let me tell you, if you do your best to just be a good person, like from personal experience, like good does come sooner or later. So keep your head up, both men and women. Again, before anybody comes around and gets in there, I have disclaimed probably 1,000 times this evening that there are good women out there, and if the bad women decide to apologize and change, depending how much damage they done, they could be forgiven, and we take it from there and shit. But right now we're just seeing like this shit has just gotten real hostile. I apologize. I just had to throw that in there. Continue.
And, let me speak to that real quick. Remember, the feminist position is to take precedence over family, over community, over state, and the church. The feminists have been fighting. They've taken God out of the schools. That was first. They've taken God out of government. Okay? Pretty soon they're going to take In God We Trust off the coins. All right? God is not working for us in the government anymore. Okay? Unfortunately, there are some good men and women in our government. Don't get me wrong. All right. Now, even in the church is handcuffed now.
Yep.
Okay. The church. There was recently an article about a pastor who was brazen enough to tell the women in the church that they might want to consider losing some weight and being fit to honor their husbands. Now, unfortunately.
I'm sure they crucified him after that.
Unfortunately, that pastor is now sitting on the sidelines waiting for permission to find out if he's ever going to be able to continue in his craft, all right?
Oh, my God.
My message is listen, men, you might not find anything but blue pill beta synth manginas in the church today, all right? The church exists within your heart. Religion is nothing compared to spirituality, right? Seek God within yourself. You can do it at home in a closet. And I highly recommend trying a fast. Go spend 24 hours. Don't eat. Just drink water, maybe a slice of bread. That's going to bring you closer to God. That's going to give you clarity, all right? And I always say, listen, don't spank your monkey the night before the big game. Don't do it, all right? Don't spank your monkey the night before a big game. Save up that sexual energy so that you can unleash hell on the enemy, on your competition the next day. However, if you have a big decision coming up and you're not sure, especially as it pertains to a female, rub one out immediately and attain post-nut clarity as quickly as possible so that you can make the right decision.
He's giving you a strategy.
Absolutely. I don't believe in no fap. I believe, you go out, you go spank the monkey and choke the chicken as much as you have to get to post-nut clarity so you can make decisions. And real quick, back to my ex-wife, as I said, okay, what we do as men, we make decisions based on taking the high road to preserve our own integrity. It's not about getting revenge. That's only going to hurt you. That's going to contaminate and spoil your spirit. All right? We do what men do, and if you're not sure, don't ask a woman, ask a man. Where do I go from here?
Mm-hmm. Very true. Wow, there's even another question for you here. Yeah, let me because I have a question as well, basically like to bring clarity to like a lot of guys, you know that, but I'll be courteous to our audience and thank you to the audience as well tuning in. I love doing my shows at 11 p.m. at night like that. Everybody else's prime time has already passed, and you guys could really like enjoy what we have to offer, not be ping ponging back and forth. Because it even happened the other night between the Fresh and Fit podcast and the Kevin Samuels podcast. So I try to be courteous of others and find my niche within all this. I lead with politics first and translating politics to the hood, along with some Redpill Mgtow stuff. Because if you don't have men well prepared, the same way George Washington and the Sons of Liberty had to draft militiamen who were ready to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, then we're all fucked. So the viewer asked, what are your thoughts on Elon? I don't want to shit on Elon. He kind of shitted on Elon, but basically, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Yeah, so Elon Musk is just like Nikola Tesla. He's just like Albert Einstein. He's just like Thomas Edison. Okay, Elon Musk is one of the most powerful and innovative thinkers of our time. Okay, recently we had Steve Jobs. We still have Bill Gates. Okay, we still have Bezos. These are the type of men who are Herculean in their mental ability. These are what we used to call men of renown. These are the most powerful men on the planet. And you know what I love about Elon Musk? He's not an alpha male. He's not a Dan Bilzerian. Elon Musk is not parading himself around, flashing his money, and showing his hose. Because that's not what good men do. That's what weak simp beta males do. And men like Dan Bilzerian, who have basically degraded thousands of women. Thousands and thousands of thousands, okay? Hugh Hefner and Larry Flick. These are men that made their empire on the sexuality of a woman. They capitalized on a woman's sexuality and their own, okay? They sold sex for money. That is idol worship, gentlemen. That is not going to lead you to the promised land. It'll give you a small, temporary amount of pride and fame, and pride cometh before the fall, gentlemen. This is not what we're about. I'm storing up my treasures for eternity. Mm-hmm. This life is going to pass us in the blink of an eye. We got one chance to do it right. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then after that comes forever. Mm-hmm.
And pardon me, just to add to what you were saying real quick before they come after me, I am a libertarian. I am a supporter of people's individual rights and acts of consent, including sex work, because sex work being decriminalized does make it a safer environment for the sex workers to engage in case any problems should arise. And along with that, Second Amendment. Now, with that being said, just be aware, whatever you choose to do, if you choose to eat a pizza pie by yourself, know the consequence that's going to come with it. You're going to really have to take time, at the bathroom to digest it all out. Ladies, if you're going to choose to be a sex worker, just don't play that victim card later on if you were not hostilely attacked. Don't come later on, oh, I was manipulated. No, you made your choice. All right? 18 and over, you're an adult. I advocate for your freedom of choice, freedom of capital gains, things like that. However you choose to make your money, just be aware that you gotta accept the consequences of your choices. There are good and bad consequences. All right? And me, I'll be honest here, on camera and all that, I thank God. I have an amazing body. I am well endowed. If I had the chance to do pornography, because relationships really haven't worked out for me. If I had the chance to do pornography, I would do it. And with the money I were to make with pornography, I would try to help. I would buy real estate and rent out apartments or whatever at a reasonable cost where I still gain my profits, but I'm not breaking people. I'm allowing people to save money and flourish. So just, make sure you accept the consequences of your choices. You think things through. Do not come around here all up in your... Because later on, if you come with that victim card, let me tell you, when you do that type of bullshit, So I just want to let that be known, because as a libertarian, I respect people's rights, but at the same time, I cannot protect you or try to cover for you for the consequences that could come. Because very rarely, it does exist, these are full-blown simps, but very rarely do men want to keep long-term women with high body counts. And that's just blatant facts. And also on top of that, in contrast, is a lot of women, as much as they lie and say whatever, women love pre-selected men. Women love men with sexual experience that could deliver. And women tend to subconsciously look down and be turned off by men who don't have a lot of sexual experience. So I just want to have all that clarity out before, again, anybody comes up on this bitch, all up in there. We're not having none of that.
Word, Cash. And I want to speak directly to the men out there and say, man, listen, it's very simple. Think right now about what exactly you need from a woman Sunday night at 12:41 to get up in the morning and conquer and rule the day. Because I can't think of one single solitary damn thing I need from a woman to get up and crush it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not one damn thing.
Unfortunately, right? they're not willing to contribute what we have, by default. We always appreciated it from them, and women have said it all the time. Oh, we pick nice guys in the end and all that. Guess what? By the time you decide to pick a nice guy, he don't want you no more. You gotta cash your chips out early. But me personally, I would love a woman. Hey, I seen you been. Let me give you a little massage, and I give massages too. My oldest brother is a massage therapist, and when he was studying to go down that career path, I was studying proper techniques and all that. So with me, it's always reciprocal. You feel me? But women today, they don't want to do nothing. They want to come around. They want to leverage off of everything. They just want to show up and right away. And then when you ask them like for anything in return, instantly they deny it to you, and they let you know deep inside,
I am a nasty woman.
And what does that conclude to in the end? These same women treating men like shit, men who would have devoted themselves to them and all that, they come around.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
Shit.
That's right.
So the question I wanted to ask you, because there's a lot of men, like I'm 32 going on 33, so I'm in the middle. Thank God I look young, like a teenager. You look amazing for your age. By the way, God bless them. My brothers, they're both like pushing 60, but they've taken very good care of themselves, and it just goes to show the male anatomy is built to last. You being a father, respectfully, accent and all that. How do you prepare your daughters, within modern day times and all that? And I never came around. You have a son by any chance?
Yeah, my son's 8 and my girls are 13 and 10, and so I speak to my girls. I sit them down, or I'll take a walk, okay, and I'll ask them about how the interactions are happening at school, okay? I ask questions to give my girls space to share with me how they're interacting and relating to the boys, okay? And then I will let my girls know, I'll feed them tiny doses of red pills to let them know that their self-worth, their value, their affirmation of themselves does not lie within the approval or the attention of the boys. Okay? I let them know that their self-worth, their value, and what they have to offer the world also does not lie within the agreement of their friends. Okay? And I continue to reinforce to my girls that their value is determined by them alone and by preserving their innocence. Okay? And I use the word innocence to my girls, and they understand it. Okay? Young kids are smarter than we think.
Oh,
They
of course.
listen,
Especially
listen
now
to
they have.
every-
Oh, sorry about that.
That's the audio.
Sorry about that. Had a technical difficulty there.
Yeah.
I apologize again. He was spitting hot fire right there, so the lightning just came and struck.
Yes. Now, I want to share something. I also participate in a fatherhood class. I go once a week, and I learn how to deal with things like guilt, shame, and anger. And I learn skills on how to communicate with my kids. Okay? Because a good father is going to recognize that if you want to become stronger, men, focus on your weaknesses. Always focus on your weaknesses. An MMA fighter is always worrying about his weakness. The fittest man on earth, Matt Frazier, the CrossFit champion, multiple years in a row. If you ask him why he's successful, he says, I find the one thing that sucks the most that I hate doing, and I do that repeatedly until it's the best thing that I can do. And that's what we have to do as men. We have to man up, stop being simps, stop being weak, don't take the easy way out. If it sucks and it's uncomfortable, it's probably good for you. Okay?
That's true. To add to what you were saying, I don't have children of my own, but I'm an uncle of 11 kids.
Yes.
I have nieces, and I've always let them know, like, hey, look, just be transparent with your parents. You're gonna want to have sex. Just be careful who you're having sex with, and just introduce the boyfriends to your parents. Every girl that has ever introduced me to their parents, the parents love me. With the exception of this one father who was seriously crazy many, many years ago. We have those guys that, it's kind of spooky. Like, dude, like, your behavior, like, do you want to have sex with your daughter? Like, a little too jealous and all that. If I had children, if I had sons, God willing, if I ever, because I'm to the point now I don't even want kids. With everything going on, how you have to be seriously selfish and irresponsible, in my personal opinion, and a lot of Redpill Mgtow guys agree, especially Coach Greg Adams. He advocated for this heavily. Right now, it is not a brilliant, smart, or considerate choice to be bringing lives into this world. Look what we're dealing with right now. If I had sons, which I truly would love to have and all that, but again, I don't think I'll be a father in this lifetime. But if I were to, I would say to them, yeah, you treat the girls good with respect and all that, but don't let them manipulate you. These are the things to watch out for. If I had daughters, I'll let them know, hey, you don't take advantage of boys. If you're gonna have a boyfriend, be transparent with me and bring him over. I would just like to meet them and all that as well. Because again, you don't have to have had actually procreated to know what it takes to be a father. How many guys know about cars, know how to be mechanics, and they don't even know own a vehicle, pardon me.
Right.
So I just wanted to add to what you were saying as well.
Amen.
Let me see if there was another question here and all that for you. I think there was. There's a lot of people just saying thank you and all that because they do like your stuff. Like I said, like when I found, I believe like the universe can work in mysterious ways. You gotta be alert of what's going on, know what's good and what's bad.
Yes, you know what? I mean, I'm glad you let me speak to that. This is something I'll share with the audience tonight that no one's ever heard before. I wake up every single morning, and the first thing I do is I sit down and I write into a journal. Okay? I write down things that I'm grateful for, and I write down some things that are not so nice.
Oh, wow. That's very old school. I like that.
I write down things that about the nightmares that I've had because I want to get it out of my system. Okay? It's a very healthy practice.
Therapeutic.
I write down things that I want to do for people, and I write down things that I want people to do for me. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you practice that kind of habit to start your day, it's like getting up and making your bed. All right, you start your day off with doing that. All right. I just want men out there to get excited. All right, get excited about conquering your own mind, your own body, and that will in turn allow you to conquer your own soul. All right, and your spirit. And these are all different things. All right, and if you're not sure where to start small. Start with doing 10 push-ups, and then the next day do 11. You men set small attainable goals, and each day do them repeatedly and strengthen those muscles. Okay, you've got muscles for pushing and you've got muscles for pulling. Okay, so you push the shit out of your life that does not serve you and make you stronger. Pushing muscles are for pushing things away from you. Okay, you find things that are good, that are going to help you become smarter and stronger and more confident, that are healthy. You pull them into you. All right, and Cash, like you said, when you're on a mission and you're searching for something, you're going to find it. You're going to the universe. You will pull it in, and that's why I write in the journal. Okay, because those things that I write down repeatedly. Now, what I've been writing down in my journal for 16 months, Cash, every single day, was asking for some other way for me to express myself in addition to my primary business. Okay, and I have no idea what form that's going to take. I don't know. I started writing off that I wanted a second income. All right. When I started this YouTube channel, I did a few videos in January. I didn't do anything in December. All right. It was a bleak, cold month, and then I got back in the saddle in February, and I haven't stopped. And it's really only been a month. And
again, you've been taking off like fucking wildfire, like a hot summer day out in California and shit.
Yeah. And and sometimes when you want something, you'll get it in half the time that you think. And sometimes when you want something, it might take 3 times the amount of time. We don't know how long it's going to be, but I will guarantee you this, ladies and gentlemen, if you practice every single day writing down what you want, you start tomorrow, you write down 30 things, and I guarantee you within a year, you're going to have 25 of them. All right? And the other 5 things are going to happen during the second year.
Man, hold on. That was fire, because I always let guys know as well, like if you want to work out, start off little by little. Don't wreck yourself in one day. And that was amazing. I'm glad you said it, because guys that I've said it to, they won't listen. One thing in sales is always leverage off of others. Come together, because sometimes people need that second voice. So you saying
Absolutely,
that?
Yeah, Cash, and listen, men, be generous with other men. All right, don't be caught up in your own feelings about being macho. Okay, when I was in the gym today, this older gentleman out of the blue started talking to me. I forget what he said, but it was a kind word. It made me feel like $1 million, and I returned the favor. All right, we're out there, men. We need to start helping each other. Again, no one is coming to our rescue, so it's inherent, and it's our responsibility to rescue each other. That's what I'm all about.
Let me tell you guys real quick. This guy that I had helped, just to keep a long story short, I basically helped this guy. Turns out he was the owner of this car wash, and now I get free car washes all the time.
Man.
We as men gotta stick together. The nation that we're on here, because I'm thinking everybody here, I'm going to assume everybody viewing this evening is within the United States and all that. There's a question in for me here. I'm gonna get to that right now, but the men who established the foundation of this nation to protect the biggest minority of them all, the individual, they put their egos to the side and came together for the greater good, which what we got to do as well. Us as men, our egos, got to be put to the side, and we got to unify. When men unify, 10 men could pick up a boulder and move it a lot quicker than one man trying to move that boulder with 9 other guys criticizing him and being judgmental of him. So we got to put our egos to the side and unite. How you said that guy approached you at the gym, that, and that was dope, because my experiences at the gym, 1 or 2 cool guys, but a lot of jerks as well and all that. That's why I bought all my equipment. I just have it here. I work out at home. I take some stuff to my job sometimes. I work out over there, bust some push-ups or some planks whenever I have the opportunity as well. But we really got to start coming together. And, along with that, awakening these crazy simps. Because these simps, they're the biggest danger to us right now. But if we could awaken them, we could convert them into allies. Now, if they choose to come in and attack us, and, hey, Second Amendment in any way, shape, or form out of self-defense. The question for me here is, what are your thoughts on New York City? New York City right now, the irony is we have a female, Stacey Pressman. Shout out Stacey Pressman, one of the few good women, running for mayor, running libertarian. Thank God. We need to advocate for her. New York City right now is not as dangerous as they try to make it out to be in the news. Do not believe the hype. When they were saying that the hospitals were a war zone and that there was like crazy shootings in New York City, I'm going to debunk that right now. Number one, I drove around New York City not once, not twice, but 3 times until my personal Instagram got reported. But plenty of people witnessed that they're on my current Instagram, the podcast Instagram, which is The Fix for New York on Instagram. The Fix, number 4, New York. Complete sentence, The Fix for New York. Along with that, when the shooting numbers went up, it was because we had 2 or 3 months of everybody being contained in the household. If you've never gone up to bat before, you go up to bat and your first at bat is a hit, you're instantly batting 1,000. So you guys got to realize the rule of mathematics and percentages and all that, the equations, all that. Mainstream media was exaggerating shit, and we all know that they have AGENDA. So fellas and ladies as well, all the good women out there as well, we got to stay alert, and we got to communicate with each other and build good relationships with each other. Put all of your egos to the side. And New York, along with every single other state, start voting libertarian. Trust me, Democrats and Republicans have had full-blown control for about 150 years already, and they've done nothing more than continuously infringe on our rights. So just to answer that, New York City needs Stacey Pressman and Larry Sharpe for governor. Just to answer that. Alright, so we have a few minutes left. In closing, and again, thank you so much for taking the time out this evening and being so humble. A guy at your caliber making the type of money that you're making. I'm in the middle within my 5 figures. I'm starting to accumulate a lot more. For those asking, by the way, some people were asking earlier. I didn't want to make this about money either, but patreon.com/The Fix for New York. As you guys see, I bring quality guests onto my show. All I'm, humbly asking for is $3 a month. If I got 100 people, $3 a month, you're going to get even more quality content, and it's going to excel from there. I break down politics to urban United States, the most uninformed and infringed demographic within the United States. I bring on great quality guests. Look at my man right here, check out his YouTube, 5 years of freedom, and he's taking off like crazy. And again, thank you for coming on. So again, patreon.com/The Fix for New York, $3 a month. That's all I humbly ask for anybody willing to donate. You can hit me up at The Fix for New York. I'm willing to interview anybody, but I do try to bring as many high caliber guests as I can as well, but also help those below me if they want to market anything or just events, whatever, because we got to unify and utilize the advancement of technology that we have available now to the best instead of for the worst, because there's a lot of people just utilizing it to look at bullshit. But yeah, in closing, is there anything you want to say and all that?
Yeah, man, I just appreciate you inviting me on, and again, I just want to speak
And thank you
to
for
you
coming
men out
on.
there, okay? Men, have each other's back. We function on respect, integrity, honor, okay? We help women who need our help. Men love to help women, all right? My
And there
comments
are
to
good
the
women out there.
are, guess what, ladies? It's never too late to turn it around, all right? Turn it around. Go towards the positive, get away from the negative. Purify and cleanse yourself, all right? That's it. We don't need to be running around slaves to our flesh, slaves to sex, and slaves to material objects and the look at me culture. okay? Because at the end of the day, nobody really cares that much about your little flashing of this and flashing of that. You know what matters in the long run, okay? Again, think long term. Think about the long money, all right? We're not getting any younger, and we've been given gifts, and it's our job to maximize them, all right? And we got to get up and we got to be positive. We got to fight through all of this drudgery and negativity in the world, and it's very easy to just say absolutely not. No, thank you. No, ma'am. All right. Not interested in what you're selling today. I've already got everything that I need, and I'm happy and grateful for it. All right. And let's just keep being strong and getting stronger.
Ooh, that was fire. To add to that, before we wrap up, to all the good women out there, we are your allies. But again, this battle right here is a battle that the men cannot frontline on. Can we assist you? Yes. But we cannot frontline this. The laws are against us. Any little thing is a Me Too, a misogyny declaration, insult, some type of derogatory language, shame language aimed at us, hostility against us. We cannot frontline this battle to all the good women out there. We want women protected, living happy. We want your Second Amendment. We want women out there. Your firearms should be matched in your outfit. That's what we want for y'all. We want y'all to be able to make as much money as possible. But just remember, facts are facts. Y'all age out faster than men do. Why? The Almighty created it like that between Father Time and Mother Nature. That was their plan. We don't want y'all to be lonely long term. So how this great man right here said, you have to start thinking long term. You could bring a horse to the river, to the water, but you can't make it drink. And we're trying, but at the same time, don't penalize us, shame language, and disrespect us for informing our fellow men. Hey, look, be aware of the landmines out there on the field. I have a friend whose anniversary is coming up soon. This week, actually, God bless him. I have his shirt here, actually, by the way. Let me show this real quick. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I know. Had it over here. Bear with me, people. Oh no, actually, I folded it and put it in the other closet, so that's a hassle right now. But long story short, I have a friend that we have shirts of him. I'll be posting it later on this week. But he unfortunately he took himself out a few years ago, and there was a lot of feelings involved in there, and it's unfortunate. We're just trying to warn our fellow men of what to watch out for, along with the good qualities to look for in a woman, and to let the bad women know, look, you still have an opportunity, again, as you said earlier, to change and apologize. You have to apologize, and it has to be genuine, because we don't want to see y'all suffer long term. We still have good hearts. We're still very empathetic, and we don't want to see nobody suffer. Long story short, so just take that into consideration, because there's only one life to live. We don't know about reincarnation. If you reincarnate, if you're going to look the same. If you don't reincarnate, if you're going to even remember. There's so many things. What we do know is the here and the now. So we got to make the here and the now as best as possible. And as we see, the evil elites above, they have an agenda for all of us. So it's on us to come together, because if we don't, we're just easy pickings for them, Hey, I want to thank you so much for taking the time this evening, especially, you know, on the later hours and all that. Your channel is truly amazing. Again, I'ma humbly say I came across you when I was just having like a lousy day and all that, and it helped like relight my fire. Like, hold on, it's not over yet, you know. Like, get up with it. So thank you so much for that. I highly advocate everybody, you know, look up the libertarian candidates in your state or local areas. Trust me, the most constitutional. Let them know where to find you at, please.
Oh yeah, sure. 5 Years of Freedom on YouTube. That's it. 5 Years of Freedom. That's that's all I got. Keep it simple, brother.
Five Years of Freedom on YouTube for those, you know, from my side of the avenue. You know, asking, oh, you know, your guests, like, where do you come across them and all that. Redpill Mgtow, advocate along with, I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for here? An encourager of aspiring for a better tomorrow. Don't let a bad today ruin what could be an amazing tomorrow. So again, I thank you so much for that wholeheartedly.
You're welcome, Cash.
All right. So yeah, everybody, you know, thank y'all for tuning in so much. I'm one half of the Fix from New York. Your boy Cash first. My co-host Z Dot could not be here with us this evening, but he was here with us in spirit. God bless him. Thanks to 5 Years of Freedom. Again, one more time, 5 Years of Freedom on YouTube. And for those who were asking, patreon.com/The Fix for New York. $3 a month helps a lot. Hey, till next time, this has been the Fix for New York podcast. And when I say the Fix for New York, it spills over to all the land throughout the United States. It's just, you know, if it happens here, it's going to cause a domino effect, a chain reaction, in order to bring about good, productive, constitutional change for the rest of the nation. Till next time, catch y'all. God bless. Thanks for tuning in, and take care.